Hello my YouTube friend, this is Not Mechanic here, and today I'm working on a 2010 Honda Civic. And what I'm going to be doing today, I am going to be replacing the front brake pads. And what you're going to need for this job is a 3/8 ratchet. You can use whatever ratchet you want. I'm also going to be using a 14mm socket. You're going to need a screwdriver, and also you are going to need a 19mm socket in order to remove the wheel. The first thing I did was I put the emergency brake, and I also got the back tires choked. The next thing I did was I moved the cap from the master cylinder and I put a rag in it. And the reason why I have the rag inside the master cylinder is because when we press the caliper pistons in, brake fluid is going to come up, and you don't want it to fall in the car, and it's going to fall right in the rag. And then the next thing I did was I jacked up the car and I put jack stands. You don't want to depend on your jack alone. So I'm going to show you, and then we're going to begin this job. As you can see, I have my jack and also have my jack stands there holding the car. Do not depend on your jack alone. Make sure you have a jack stand. So now let's remove this wheel. Now what we're going to do is rotate this way, because you want to get better access to the bowls right here. So let's rotate it this way. Now that we rotated, we have better access to the bowls right here, 1 and 2. In the beginning of the video I said 14mm socket, but it's actually a 12mm socket. You can do this two ways. You can remove this one alone, this bowl back here, and then just pick this up and remove the brake pads and replace them. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove both bowls. The reason why I'm removing it is because I want to clean the slide pin and I want to grease it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to go slowly. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to open it to make it much easier for me to take this out. So I go in there. I don't do much because I don't want to. See that? There you go. Just a little bit. That's what I did. So I'm going to remove the bottom first. And I'm going to remove the top one. Now it should be a little bit more easier for me to remove this right here. Now once you remove the caliper piston, you don't want them to be hanging, because then you can break the brake line. So just rotate it. You see how easy? Because I moved it a little bit. Now what you want to do is take something like this and put it right here, and you're going to just hang it right in the top up here, out of the way. She's right out the way. Now it's not hanging. Now we can remove the brake pads, and you see this? Ooh, this is already gone. See how low they are? You can use your hand. If you can't take it out with your hand, just use your screwdriver and just go slowly. Just remember the orientation, how it goes. Look at this. There's nothing. Then the other one. Now this one has this over here. The other one had it, so you want to put it in the correct spot also. This is your warning indicator that your brakes are low. Okay, we got that. Now we're going to remove these brackets here. We're going to put some new ones. Just remember how it goes. If this is your first time doing brake pads, just put them down the way you took them out. You put them down here. There you go. Then you do this one also. And that's it. Put it over here. Now we take our sliding pin right here. And all we're going to do is just remember that this rubber piece goes inside. And there it goes. These are nice and greased up, but I'm going to put some more grease. So what I do is I just clean them up. Got some grease. You want to make sure you put enough. Push it in. Look at that. So you're going to do the same thing to the bottom one. Just clean it up. Slide pins, they do not look bad at all. And we're going to do the same thing we did. I think whoever did this brake pads, because I think this one's supposed to go on the top, but that's the way they had it, so I'll leave it just like that. Put it in there. And let's say you finish that part there. Now we're just going to clean this up. Put some brake cleaner on it. You want to use a brush. That's what I'm using. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. There it goes. Now we're going to use our bracket. Now, remember how you took it out. So you know this one, these two things go right in here. Right in here. So you do is press it in, and there it goes. Then you take the other one, you're going to do the same thing. So, goes in. Let me just show you. Like that. These gaps here, it's going to go on the metal here. Make sure it's nice and in. Squeeze them. There you go. Now what we're going to do is, what I like to do is put a little bit of grease here. And I'm going to use a Q-tip. We call this the 007. Manny Mechanic 007. It's a much cleaner job to do. So all you do is just take some grease. Put a little bit here. The reason why you put in grease there, because you want it to slide in and out easily. Put some in the top. And there he goes. Now we're going to put the brake pads. Remember where this part goes goes over here and it goes in the bottom. So let me just show you a little closer what we do here. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that this sliding thing right here goes right in here. So all you're going to do is just slide it in there. Make sure that one is there. And then you want the top one to go right in the top. And that's it. There you go. Now you're going to do the same thing to the other side. You can see the sliding pin here. So what we're going to do is, we're going to put this right in there. Just push it down a little bit. And then you're going to put this side. And there it goes. See that? Nice and neat. Now let's press the caliper pistons. Now we need to compress this caliper piston, and I have this right here. Now, you use your old brake pads, and you put it in here like this. Put it in. Put this in like this, and what you're going to do is, you're going to compress it in. And that's the reason why we have that rag up there, because when we press this, the fluid is going to go and it's going to go right to the master cylinder. And you want this to go to press all the way in order for the brake pads to go in easy. I don't know if you can see that, but it's going in. Now you see it went all the way in. So all we're going to do now is put it here and make sure the sliding pins, you push them in order for this to go right in. Okay, make sure you slide the pins in. There you go. I like to put these straight. Now we're going to take the balls, and now you're probably going to have to move it a little bit just to get it in. I'll take the other one and put it right in also. Like I said, you're probably going to have to... Oh. Now you're going to take your socket and you're just going to tie it right, and then just a little bit. Then you're going to do the same thing with this one. Tie it, and then just a little bit. Now, this next step is very, very important. You have to at least press the brakes at least between 10 to 15 times until you feel the brake pads nice and tight. Once you're pressing the brake pedal, you should feel it getting tight. If you don't do this part, you're not going to be able to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it a few times and feel it tight, and then we complete the job. So now I'm going to close the master cylinder. So this is the reason why we put a rag. You see how wet it is? If I would not have this rag in the master cylinder, all the brake fluid was going to fall in the car. So here you go. You have completed on replacing your brake pads on your 2010 Honda Civic. So once again, this is Non-Mechanic. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below or contact me on nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. That is nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. And remember, if Non-Mechanic can do it, you can do it. Later.